Hey traders, Rick here with Hit Run Candlesticks. How are you? Hey, I want to welcome you here. This is Sunday evening, March 17, 2024. Two dates I want to throw out at you. The first one is this coming Tuesday, the 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be hosting a webinar, and I would love to have you there, and I can explain more what I'm looking at when I swing trade both long and short. Okay, that's Tuesday, March 19th. Yeah, Tuesday, March 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern. There'll be a link below this video in the comment section, okay? The next important date I want to throw out at you is this coming Wednesday. That'd be the 20th. Mr. Jerome Powell is going to be giving us some words of wisdom. Words of wisdom, whether a little more hawkish or a little more dovish or whatever, the Feds are going to do. Either way, the market will probably react in some way to it, even if it's just a short period of time. And what I would like to share with you a little bit on this video and much more on Tuesday night's video, or Tuesday night's webinar, is how I plan to attack that and not really worry about what Mr. Powell has to say, hawkish or dovish. It doesn't matter. And I will show you and explain to you in depth Tuesday night, but we're going to touch on it tonight right here, okay? And it's simply following the trend, and I'll show you how I do that in a very clear and colorful way, because there's only two colors you need to look at or notice or see, and that's green and red, and I'll show you what I mean, okay? So let's start out with the SPY. I've got the SPY up here, and I do want to talk about this a little bit. Based on our trend indicator, we are still bullish. It has not turned red. We want to be a little careful here, because there are things in this chart, and I plan to show you, that makes me think we're going to get a little red, okay? For one, the candlestick pattern right in here is not looking great. And if we move this to a two-day chart, you can see on this two-day chart, we've got what we call an Oreo cookie pattern, and that's where it's bearish, not so bearish, or bullish maybe, and then bearish again. Also, we have a bearish engulf in here that ended up Friday. So this kind of tells me we're going to see a little bit of a lower low, and that would put us underneath the green dot, and the dot will actually turn red. Let me show you what I mean by that. Here's a chart, just the dots, no candlesticks. Now this is the same chart, it's just on the daily. Let me switch this to an hourly chart, and you'll see what I mean. There's the hourly. See how we turn red right in here? And the white line, which that's the T line, or the 8 exponential moving average. You can see how it had follow through below the red dots, and that signifies some selling, bearishness, maybe go short on that right there. Now remember, this is a 60-minute chart. The daily chart has not turned over. If we take a look at the Qs real quick, you can see that it is starting to turn over, and the dot actually has turned red. And that's because price is below it. You see what I mean by colorful? It's very easy to tell whether or not we want to be bearish or bullish with swing trading this system right here. And you can see how it turned bearish over here. We got a little bit bullish and then rolled right over, and there's the bearishness right in here. And then what I'll cover Tuesday night is looking at some short trades on the entries, as well as some long trades, the entries, and how you use this system to make those entries. So we'll be covering that Tuesday night. All right. So we've got that up here. Let's just take a look at some charts. I'm going to look at some long charts here. If the market does turn bearish, then what we will do Tuesday night is we'll be taking a look at those bearish trades, maybe some bearish setups with the entries and possible targets as well. Okay, so that's 8 p.m. Tuesday night, the 19th of March. All right, there'll be a link. There'll be a link in the comments below this video. All right, so let's take a look at some charts here. Here's one I talked about last week. I even did a video on it. And man, just think on this thing, a 10% move from about where we closed Friday is up here at this 705 area, maybe just a touch more. 10%. Man, I don't know about you, but that's good trading. That really is. That's good swing trading. So we're definitely keeping our eye on this one for an entry. I'm not long this. We'll wait for the right entry. And of course, for all members of Hit and Run Candlesticks, we will post on our app if we buy or sell, or some thoughts on LAC. Okay. GM, I think, is setting up very nice. Remember the Oreo cookie we talked about? What was it on the SPY just a few minutes ago? That's a bearish setup. Well, here is a bullish setup, very similar chart pattern, but we call this a fig Newton. It's just the opposite of the Oreo cookie. So you've got a bullish day, not so bullish or bearish, and then a bullish day. And we have a bullish engulf here to boot. 10% move on that puts it up here at $40, $44, $45 right in here. So I'll be watching this one for that entry. And again, Tuesday night we'll cover GM on what we might be looking at for an entry, even if it's, you know, it may not present itself for an entry Monday or Tuesday, but if it does, we'll certainly look at it and we'll cover it regardless Tuesday night. Here's a chart that we talked about last week, RIG, R-I-G. For those that did enter this, congratulations, hit our first target up here, so way to go. I'm watching now for a little bit of a pullback maybe, and then we'll look for that entry on that one, and we'll talk more about that Tuesday night as well. CVS may be setting up here. CVS, look at that bullish candle here. You've got two just inside days really, and then a nice bullish engulf with follow through. A 10% move on CVS puts you about 83, somewhere in that 83 range right up there. So this is another one we're going to be watching for a possible entry. And if we enter it Monday or Tuesday, of course, members, you'll get an alert on that. And then Tuesday night, we'll definitely cover this in the webinar. Excuse me. Tyson, how about a little bit of chicken here? Tyson might be setting up. Nice bullish candle took us off, rallied us up. We went sideways, pretty normal, and then we popped out. This is a pop out of the box right in here. And then here we popped out of that box, and we're actually just putting in another box right in here, holding the T-line. T-line is bullish. The trend indicator is bullish. So, you know, if somebody wanted to, you could say, hey, Candlestick's bullish, the T-line's bullish, trend indicator's bullish, everything looks pretty good. 10% move on that is about that 61. It's also happens to be the recent highest high up here. When was that? February 5th over there. So I'm watching Tyson for an entry as well. Nokia, N-O-K, maybe setting up. 10% move on that puts you about $4. Here we've had a nice move to the 200 period moving average, pulled back, and then just consolidated. Thursday and Friday, we tested that 200 again. We've got a nice ascending triangle here. This is an ascending triangle right there. And what I'm watching for, what I'm waiting for the alert on, and from the scanner that we use, waiting for that alert to tell me that we popped out, may or may not buy it there, may wait for a pullback, depending on the pop. Also depends on the market, what the market is actually doing. But regardless, based on this chart right now, be shopping for an entry in about this area right here. And then about a 10% move is what we'd be looking at. PFE, now this is one that we're holding here. We talked about it a few days ago, last week. Did a video on this one. And you can see that it's nice bottom. Here we gapped up, went sideways, gapped up again, popped up. And now we're pulling back to this nice little flag here. So I'm waiting for this to move, and then I'm going to look at adding more to it. Looking for it to get up in that $30 range, and that would be in the neighborhood of that 10% move as well. About 29, maybe 30 bucks up here. So we'll be watching for that setting up, and we'll send out alert on that. The last one I have here is BB Black Bear. We talked about this last week. Now, I still like this chart. It had an ugly move Friday, but that's okay. We're not in it. It never gave a buy signal. So no harm, no foul, right? We've got a nice bottom set up. I think we have a nice chart pattern set up. This is, I think, really time to start watching this for an entry. So I'll be a little picky on it. I want to see the bulls step in. I want to see that the bulls are willing to take it higher. One thing I'm a little cautious on is the T line is below the trend or the 50 period moving average. So I'd like to see that up there. So I'm not interested in picking a bottom. I'm more interested in getting a nice little entry in there. So again, the scanner that we use, it'll alert me when it starts moving. I'll alert members and so on and so on and so on. So anyway, be a little cautious with this market. We could be a little bit, well, I think everybody knows we're a little bit overbought. That doesn't mean that a ton of selling has to happen, but you know, we could be in for a little bit of selling. The SPY has a little bit more to go to get to the 50 period moving average, while I think the Qs, pretty much we're going to get there. So that like I said, that points to a little more downside. Anyway, trade cautiously. Remember, if you can manage to make it Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, that's Tuesday, March 19th. I would love to have you in our room. The link will be in the chat below the video, the comments below the video, okay? Have a wonderful evening. If you're watching this here Sunday night, have a great Monday and Tuesday, and we'll see you Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night. Take care, everyone.